Hey there, Whites faithful! What's happening, Leeds United family? Your boy is back with some absolutely explosive news that's gonna shake Elland Road to its very foundations. And listen, I'm not talking about just any regular transfer rumors or match updates. We're talking about 3 massive bombshells that are gonna leave every single one of you either jumping with joy or pulling your hair out in complete madness. The first one involves a winger from Leicester who could be the missing piece in our attacking puzzle, costing us a fortune but potentially worth every single penny. The second? A story about one of our own players who's got everything to prove this season and could either become our Premier League hero or fade into obscurity. And the third? Oh man, the third one is about defensive reinforcements that could make or break our survival in the top flight. But before we dive into this roller coaster of emotions, smash that like button if you're ready for some proper Leeds United drama, hit subscribe, because you know I'm always bringing you the hottest transfer news first, and drop a comment telling me, are you feeling confident or absolutely terrified about our Premier League return? The championship conquest is behind us, but a real test begins now in the Premier League. This first piece of news involves a young attacking talent whose price tag will make your eyes water, but whose potential could be exactly what we need to stay up. Are you ready to find out? Bilal El-Khanous. There it is, Whites. The 21-year-old Moroccan wizard from Leicester City who could be our next game changer at Elland Road. Listen up, Leeds family, because this isn't just another transfer rumor floating around. This is Daniel Farke putting his money where his mouth is. We're talking about a potential $31, $78 million total investment for a player who was one of the few bright sparks in Leicester's absolutely disastrous Premier League campaign last season. Think about it. While the Foxes were crumbling around him, this kid was still delivering 3 goals and 6 assists in 37 appearances. That's a player with character, with fight, with exactly the kind of mentality we need if we're going to survive in this brutal Premier League. And Farke knows it. That's why we've already had meetings. That's why we're ready to trigger his $24.5 million release clause. But here's the financial reality that's got some fans worried. His current $35,000 per week salary would jump significantly at Elland Road. And with a minimum 4-year contract, we're looking at a massive wage commitment on top of the transfer fee. Yet when you break down his numbers, 2,505 minutes played, consistent performances in a relegation battle. This isn't just a gamble, it's an investment in proven Premier League quality. The insider information is wild, Whites. Sasha Tavalieri himself confirmed that Wednesday's meeting between Leeds and El-Khanous' representatives went better than expected. We're not just interested, we're committed to paying that release clause, complete with solidarity contributions and taxes to Leicester City. This is Daniel Farke saying, I don't care about the money, I need this player to execute my tactical vision. And here's what's driving me absolutely mental with excitement. El-Khanous isn't just another winger. This is a player who brings pace, technical ability, and most importantly, Premier League experience without the massive ego that usually comes with it. At 21, he's hungry, he's mobile, and he fits perfectly into Farke's high-intensity system. The deadline pressure is real, Whites. We've got until... And speaking of pressure, let's talk about Largi Ramazani, the man who has absolutely everything to prove this season. Whites. This is where it gets emotional, Leeds family, because we're talking about a player who was barely a starter last season. Only 7 starts out of 29 championship appearances, but still managed to deliver 8 goal contributions. That's one every 97 minutes when he actually got on the pitch. Can you imagine the frustration? Can you picture Ramazani watching from the bench, knowing he's got the pace, the skill, the creativity to make a difference, but not getting the consistent chances to prove it? Well, guess what? The Premier League is his stage now. And with a pursuit of El-Khanous heating up, the Belgian knows this could be his make or break moment. The stats don't lie. In just 783 minutes of championship action, he bagged 6 goals and 2 assists, plus another goal in the FA Cup. That's a player who delivers when given the opportunity. But here's the brutal truth. Earning $70,000 per week while sitting on the bench isn't sustainable in the Premier League. Every manager, every fan, every teammate expects more when you're on that kind of money. What's absolutely fascinating is how Ramazani's situation perfectly mirrors what's happening with our transfer strategy. We're potentially spending $31 million on El Carnous, while we've got a player right here who's proven he can produce goals and assists when given consistent game time. The pressure on both players is immense. El Carnous needs to justify that massive price tag, while Ramazani needs to prove he deserves to stay ahead of a marquee signing. And let's be real about the tactical implications. If Fark shows faith in Ramazani and gives him that left wing spot consistently, we could be looking at a player who explodes into Premier League stardom. His pace terrorized championship defenders. Imagine what he could do against tired Premier League fullbacks in the 70th minute. But if he fails to step up, if those limited minutes last season were actually a fair reflection of his ability, then El Carnous becomes even more crucial to our survival hopes. And now, with transfer rumors swirling, with El Carnous potentially coming in as direct competition, Ramazani is facing the biggest challenge of his career. Will he step up and claim that left wing spot as his own? Mario Zanotti, the 22-year-old Italian fullback who could be the final piece in Fark's Premier League survival master plan. White's faithful, this is where everything comes together in the most beautiful, chaotic way possible. We've just secured promotion. We're chasing a $31 million winger. We've got players fighting for their Premier League lives. And now we're in advanced negotiations for an $8 million plus fullback from Lugano, who contributed 11 goals as a defender last season. Think about a tactical evolution happening here. Fark isn't just building a team to survive, he's building a team to attack the Premier League. Zanotti with 2 goals and 9 assists as a fullback in 41 appearances. El Carnous bringing pace and creativity from wide positions. Ramazani fighting for every minute to prove his worth. This is the kind of squad depth that could shock everyone. The numbers are incredible. 11 goal contributions from a 22-year-old fullback who's still developing. That's not just defensive solidity. That's genuine attacking threat from deep positions. Imagine Zanotti overlapping with our wingers, creating overloads, delivering crosses that could be the difference between survival and relegation. What's got me absolutely buzzing about this potential signing is how it fits into the bigger picture of what Daniel Fark is building. We've already secured Gabriel Goodwinson to strengthen our fullback options, but Zanotti represents something different. He's the attacking fullback who can provide width when our wingers cut inside, the player who can deliver that perfect cross for our strikers, the defender who becomes an extra midfielder in possession. And here's the tactical genius of it all. If we get both El Carnous and keep Ramazani firing, Zanotti becomes the perfect complement. Picture this. El Carnous cutting inside from the right, Ramazani doing the same from the left, and Zanotti bombing forward to provide that traditional width and crossing threat. That's a level of tactical sophistication that most newly promoted teams can only dream of. The Swiss Super League might not sound glamorous, but 41 appearances with consistent attacking output shows this kid has the stamina and consistency for Premier League football. Plus, at 22, he's exactly the right age profile. Experienced enough to contribute immediately, young enough to develop into something special under Fark's guidance. But here's what's keeping me up at night. Leeds family, Fulham and AS Monaco are lurking in the background, ready to hijack this deal at the last minute. We desperately need defensive reinforcements with Isaac Schmidt potentially on his way out. And Zanotti represents everything we need. Youth, attacking threat, Serie A level technical ability, and the hunger to prove himself in English football. But the domino effect is real. If we lose Zanotti to other clubs, we're back to square one with our fullback situation. If we can't get El